Hey everybody, welcome back to the AD2L Season 5, cast by yours truly, at Wolf Dota. Thank you very much for tuning in. We've got Game 2 of Gods of War versus Serial Killers. First game was a pretty rough game for Serial Killers. They kind of got rolled over by an aggressive tri-lane consisting of a Centaur, a Silencer, and a Ogre Magi. So, not to mention, then they had a Void and a Death Prophet back them up in that's going into the mid-late game and kind of finishing out the game with those heroes. It was a bit of a stop from fairly early. The Silencer was able to steal a lot of intelligence, and just the heroes on Serial Killers couldn't function. They had a hard time with it. But back into this draft. Doom banned out again. A lot earlier this time. Jakiro, interesting ban coming out from Gods of War. But Silencer, first ban for Serial Killers, and then the Death Prophet follow-up. So they let the Void through again, and Gods of War quickly snapped that up. They don't want that getting left behind. So, interesting choice. Omni and Skywrath Mage picked up from Serial Killers. So Omni Knight, very good hero in general, just kind of all around at keeping people alive, doing a lot of support, and can do a little bit of damage if he gets Purification off on a couple targets. Skywrath Mage, obviously the epitome of a glass cannon. Nice pickup for them. Gods of War pick up an AA to combo with their Faceless Void. So if they can get a Ice Blast on top of the Chrono, it'll be pretty solid. And that's just effective from the level 6 all the way to like level 25. That is just an effective combination there. So nice choice. And we'll have to see what they decide to go with here, what direction they decide to take this draft in. Serial Killers, I'm not quite sure how they want to do this, or what they're going to want to lane it. They went defensive last time. Witch Doctor's actually banned out for them, so taking out that Void Witch Doctor combination, not that uncommon, but nonetheless a little bit interesting. Terribly banned out for Gods of War. Just not wanting to deal with the Naga Siren Ultra Farm Terrorblade, I guess. They don't want to deal with that, as it were. And Legion Commander, again, another one. Both newest here additions to the Captain's Draft getting quickly eliminated. And they're just not sure what they want to do about that. And what else to talk about here? Serial Killers, they just waiting on their final ban of the second stage. They have probably the two supports. I can't see them running this in one of them in a farming role. That said, the Nature's Prophet banned out for Serial Killers, not wanting to deal with split push. The Skywrath Mage and the Omni will probably be the supports. As far as cores go, left that do well against Void. Phantom Assassin, to an extent, she can burst the Void very, very quickly if she gets a hold of him. Not to mention, she can still evade if she does happen to get chronoed. She's vulnerable to the rest of the magic damage, though, so that'll be pretty tough. They go with a Weaver, so it can be good. If he makes it through the chrono, he can time lapse. Now, Weaver up against AA is a little bit yes and no, because I mean he can time lapse the damage from Ancient Apparition's Ice Blast, but it will not remove the debuff. So if he is low, gets hit by it, and time lapses, he could still tick out, and he's very vulnerable in that way. Not to mention he's very vulnerable to Chronosphere. I would feel he's not tanky. He doesn't have that natural evasion that Phantom Assassin does. But that said, he has, I think, a stronger laning phase up against a lot of heroes than Phantom Assassin would, in that he can harass them with Sakuchi as well as Geminate Attack, and the Swarm now is very strong at level 1. So just having that better laning phase might be what they need. Venomancer actually picked up again by Gods of War, and I've seen this strategy before. AA Veno, if you hit, you get both ultis, the team just dies. It doesn't matter. You might as well just roll over. It's the amount of damage coming out is absolutely absurd. But that won't be for a little bit. They'll have a bit of time to get that up. And Wraith King picked up for Serial Killers. I like this. I really like this pickup. Venomancer, he drops to the Venomancer, AA, Void, Chrono, all that shit. Comes right back. Also, very good hero combined with the Skywrath Mage, as well as the Omni Knight. A Wraith King normally wants a BKB, otherwise he's going to get kited around fairly effectively. So between the Omni Knight's Repel and if he can get his Degen Aura on a couple of them, he can they can go for this. Like, the Wraith King will have what he needs to be able to get around and have some mobility to chase heroes down. Also, Venomancer and Ancient Apparition are not the most mobile of heroes. I mean, they can cut you with some slows and stuff like that. But Wraith King, if he's got Repel on, he's not going to be worried about the slows, and he can just stun you and chase you down. Not to mention, Weaver also not affected by these slows at all. Only hard stuns can handle him, and so far all they have is Faceless Void Chrono. So, Gods of War are going to look to pick up some cores with some solid stuns. Centaur is still in the pool. That'd be one stomp to maybe deal with the Weaver and some burst damage, so you can stun him, hopefully burst him before you can get the time lapse off. And then also can kind of deal with the Wraith King. He is very tanky, so you can kind of handle him there and control him a little bit. Invoker is actually going to be the pickup from Gods of War. So that Centaur is still in the option, and that'll probably be their mid hero. And this is interesting. Excuse me. I'm assuming he's going to go Quaswax. I do not, for the life of me, see a reason to not go Quaswax up against Wraith King. If you can land EMP at any point in the game, Wraith King's going to be so out of mana, he won't even know what to do about it. So I'd like to see Wraith King maybe pick up a Soul Ring, and that is an interesting ban from Serial Killers. They ban out the PA, so they're thinking Gods of War wants to run 2 cores, like hard farming cores. I don't think that's what they want. I think Gods of War, Timbersaw is an option for them. Now they could run Invoker safe, Void off lane, and then something in the middle lane. Or sorry, yeah, something else in the mid lane, but I don't think they're going to do that. Venomancer A, I think they're going to protect the Void. They're going to want to pick up a solo off lane. Serial Killers, what do they need? They need something to lane up against this Invoker. Outworld Destroyer comes to mind, Viper comes to mind. Both of them would do very well. And I kind of like the Viper in general. I think that'd be actually a really solid pickup up against the Void, as you can Viper Strike into the Chronosphere and slow his attack speed down, and kind of prevent a lot of damage that way. Not to mention he's very tanky up against all this magic damage coming out, as he has that extra resistance built in. So, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But Viper's what I want to see from Serial Killers, and from Gods of War, I'm thinking what could work for them. Something to burn a little bit of mana. Maybe something that builds a Necro Book. So Beastmaster comes to mind. Tide's still in the pool, surprisingly. So that could also work for Serial Killer. Just a lot of control and good initiation, but we'll have to wait and see. Beastmaster comes to mind for Gods of War. Can build the Necro Book fairly effectively. Maybe just more ways to burn this mana off the Wraith King. That's really the only one. I don't know why I'm stumped on this. And Serial Killers pick up Chaos Knight. So, mid Weaver, aggressive tri-lane solo something is what it's going to be, I guess. I don't know, that's a little risky. I think Viper would have been a much better choice there. But I've seen them run it before. They're pretty solid at it. Captain Crunch doing the drafting. We'll have to wait and see what he decides on. But Gods of War, I still think that's something that now the thing is though, this Wraith King is probably going to be a support that roams with the Skywrath, and maybe it's going to be like a Wraith King Skywrath Omni aggressive lane, Weaver in the middle, and Chaos Knight safe lane. In which case, I'm not sure who's going to be farming it. Probably still the Wraith King, but he's not going to be as big of a priority to deal with. They're going to need something a little more AoE. I think Earthshaker could be a choice. Could be a decent pickup here. Run Earthshaker in the mid. They're going to go for the Tide themselves, so I don't think it's a terrible pickup. It's some solid AoE, but it's not the same as an Earthshaker, but it does a little bit more in as far as like total control goes, and just kind of laning presence is much stronger. But quickly introducing the teams once again. On the side of CK, we've got Fruit Loops playing the Chaos Knight. Captain Crunch is going to be holding on to that Omni Knight. Wheatbix on the Weaver. Raisin Bran on Skywrath Mage. And last but not least for them, Cornflake on the Wraith King. Now on the mid lane, we've got Siege handling that Invoker, and he got that first point in Exhort, so he doesn't give a shit about anything I say apparently. Well, that's fine. And maybe they're thinking that it's going to be a support Wraith King, so they don't want to prioritize him that much. They want to deal with the Chaos Knight illusions and whatnot, Weaver, all that stuff, so that's fine. Mirrodin on the Veno is going to be playing, looks like that support Venomancer. Hollow Man on the Void. This is a different person playing than last time. That's the word Hollow Man. Yeah, he wasn't in the last game. Not sure. Ouija, I think, is who he replaced. Rookie is on the Skyreth Mage, and last but certainly not least, Kevdog on that offlane Tide Hunter. Take a quick look at the lanes. We've got the two Knights, it looks like. They're going to be camping out this rune here, maybe making sure if anyone goes down like this, they'll be able to get them. Go down like this. See what they want to do there. So far, it looks like they might be able to get an AA. Omni Knight did start with that Purification. So they're not a whole lot of chase down potential, but they're just going to bully the AA away from this lane. And they've got vision of this, so not too worried. And the lamest type of runes to get at the beginning, a bounty and a regen, so nothing exciting going to happen from that. And we'll have to see. No vision down. Oh, I guess Tide did get this early ward out here, but no camps blocked, so he might have a tough time in the laning phase. Top, it's actually going to be an aggressive. They're going to run dual lanes. Skywrath, Skeleton King, and Chaos Knight, Omni Knight. I think top, they're just going to get zoned out by Venomancer and AA. AA did start with Cold Feet, so no cold touch zoning yet, but it's going to come. And meanwhile, bottom Cornflake is I think they'll be okay at zoning out this Tide. Skyreth Mage is very good at dealing with a Tide in lane. As he doesn't harass with right clicks, he just spams Arcane Bolt for 100 years. In the mid lane, though, I think it's going to be fairly close. Weaver can get last hits with Sakuchi as well as harass a little bit and whatnot. Oh, I guess he stuck around a little bit too long. Sorry, I looked up and he was at full health, and all of a sudden I hear First Blood shouted. So Tide drops in the bottom lane, and it looks like they just Arcane Bolt where Wraithfire blasted him down. He does take a fair bit of damage there. Wraith King went for that early point in Vampiric Aura, so he's gonna actually push the wave fairly early. Top lane, and they're just standing so close. Skywrath rotates top, and they're going to leave the Wraith King up solo against the Tide, and I think that's actually a mistake. He's going to have a very tough time here. Tide's going to be able to win that one, I think. Even though he is down a level. Aggressive swap coming up from the Chaos Knight. He actually looks like they're not going to really get anything. Cold Feet not going to proc, but the defensive supports, they're making it work. Void able to leap away. And last hits, Invoker is leading. Siege doing alright in that mid lane. Weaver struggling a little bit, but not too much yet. Maybe once he gets a point or two up in Sakuchi, he'll be able to catch up and get some decent harass. We can see there. Up top, Void still farming. Tide zoning out that Wraith King. Just running at him, Anchor Smash, a couple right clicks, and yeah, this is going to be the story of this lane. Stun comes out from Cornflake just to hold the Tide back, and that's not something you ever really want to have to do. Up on mid lane, nothing. Chaos Knight up here top. Not a whole lot. Is this camp? It is blocked, so Venom will be able to get one pull through off. But only if he's only got one real shot at this. And he won't realize the camp's blocked. Ooh, another Reality Rift coming out, but it's not going to land. And Venom's already looking to get this pull through off, but they're going to see this and they're probably going to rotate through on it, which means we might see a little bit of action here. Fruit Loops wants to go. He's pinging it out. Omni Knight's got a repel for him if he wants to. Maybe he's just going to snipe some last hits and fuck the pull. Which I mean, still, even though it's only a half pull, it'll still probably get cleaned up entirely here. Yeah, they're just going to tank it up. So the creep wave is going to be pulled fairly far back in favor of Gods of War for now, but other than that, I think the rest of the lanes are going to be fairly quiet unless Tide gets level 6 before the Wraith King and decides to blow Ravage for a kill or something like that. Can't really see a whole lot happening down here. But this Wraith King is not farming well. Tide has passed him already and is going to continue to beat him, I think. Up in the top lane, Void is beating the Chaos Knight by just a CS or two. So pretty close, all in all. In the mid lane, Invoker is doing a decent job of staying ahead of the Weaver, but like I said, Weaver is starting to catch up now. He's actually going for the max Gemini attack, wants that extra harass chance, which I can kind of understand. He's going to be getting the levels here, so it's not really too big of a deal if he skips Swarm early to go for that point in the extra point in Geminate. And he's got a bottle now, so he's going to be happy staying in lane. Right, that's it. Wraith King's dropping low, and top Chaos Knight is also dropping low. He actually gets hit by a Gale. Venomancer doesn't have a point in Poison Sting yet to slow him down. That said, he's going to get healed up and pops a Magic Stick. They're going to look to turn this. Venomancer is pretty low. Omni Knight gets hit by Cold Feet, but he's not going to get frozen. And Void doesn't want to pop a Time Walk to go after him. So all in all, not a lot going to happen there. Kev Dogs is looking to push this out. Oh, he misses. All that juking just to whiff the last hit. And mid lane Weaver's actually going to get cold snapped and harassed a little bit. Siege does have a sentry down here, not able to get the kill. But Weaver's literally about to hit level 6. Are they tied? 4, 3, pretty close. They hit 6 at the same time. And Weaver's now got the time lapse, so I don't think Invoker will be able to solo kill him unless he drains all of his mana or Weaver Sikuchis it all away. Top lane, or sorry, bottom lane. This Wraith King's dropping very low. Tide could have gone for that kill if he'd wanted to. Poss comes out. Not sure what's going on here. Siege apparently needs a half second. And who's that? Is that the A that pings top? Apparently Invoker just needs to adjust something. But not a big deal. I think he's good now, boys. Yeah, Tide could have got that solo kill if he'd wanted to use Ravage for it, which I don't think would have been a big deal. Wraith King has the point and would have been able to come back, but I mean, I think using a Ravage for Reincarnate, worth, especially level 1 Reincarnate, that's a 260-second cooldown, so 240 is 4 minutes, so that's 4 minutes and 40 seconds on cooldown for his ultimate there. And that's, honestly, that's not something you want to go. That's why you see so many Wraith Kings hold the point. And they'll skill it right before they die when they want to come back. They won't, or they will purposely run out of mana when they know they're just going to die, come back and die again. They'll just throw out another Wraith Fire Blast so that they don't have the mana to. You see some people at higher levels usually do that. Not sure if that's a strategy these guys would get inclined to or really pay attention to. But either way. Siege, what's he going? It's actually going for the max Wex build. Just got that point in Exhort to help with last hits, it looks like early. Give him that 1 point in Sunstrike. 100 pure damage. You gotta be pretty low to get killed by that. But, needless to say, let's see what's going on here. Looks like he's still lagging out there. I'm just gonna see if I get a response, just because it's fun to mess with these guys. Worst face. Haha. Worst face. See what that gets. If anyone's paying attention to chat, even. Top lane, what's Void going for? Saving up some gold right now. Could go into that Midas if we wanted to, but last Void. We got a Captain Crunch saw. He's saying hi. Good for him. Could have him go for that Midas if he wanted to. Don't really know, boys. My material runs pretty short when I'm by myself. Okay, we're gonna start going through cosmetics here. Omni Knight. Oh, fuck that noise. They're unpausing. Grace to you. Apparently, Invoker's good. Just kind of throws out the unpause. Something's going on. Hopefully. Either way. Either way, we have a quick reality rift. Fruit Loops is gonna go on Rookie, but he's gonna get harassed back. Omni Knight sitting behind him though, heals him up, keeps him in lane. Good stuff there. Tide goes all the way back, doesn't want to deal with anything. Got a ward there, so he knew that was coming. And like I said, he's level 6. No, wait, did anyone stack Ancients for him? Nope, not yet. So, hopefully he'll get his mana boots, then maybe go stack Ancients once or twice. Oh, trying to get him with the Anchor Smash, not quite. And doing a lot of damage to Cornflake. Cornflake is just having a rough time here. Doesn't have a point in Gush. He's actually Cornflake's gonna get stunned up. He's got a rotation coming through. Skilled up his ulti. Cavdog throws out another smash. He's actually going to drop to this, I think. Slow's going to run up, but there's the other stun. If he had mana for his ulti, he would have been able to get the kill there. Oh, Omni-Knight gets the crunch, goes in on him. So they get the kill on the Tide, and 2 kills going the way of CK so far. Good start from them, much better than the last game. And picking up bottom. Oh, I heard a Gale coming out onto the Chaos Knight, and that is a slow-moving Chaos Knight. He's going to drop down very easily. Nice plays coming out the top, so they get a return kill on the rotation. Sorry, I lost my chart. And Cornflake says, whoa. It looks like he's into my butt hairs. I missed it. What happened? I don't even know. I'm just like not even sure at the moment.
Mid-tower's having technical difficulties.
And we'll just see how that goes. Void is going for that early Mask of Madness even before boots. So interesting enough, he does have that second point in time walk, so a little better initiation range, and a little bit lower cooldown in case he needs to get out of a sticky situation. Meanwhile, bottom lane though, Kevdog, he's gonna be getting harassed down again. He pops the Ravage here, and they're actually all dropping very low. He kind of jukes back at them, makes them scared, and yeah, survives. So I mean, space created, I guess. They probably weren't looking to push very soon anyway, so the loss of the Ravage isn't that big of a deal. But at the same time, it is a Ravage for nothing. It's kind of a toss-up. I would say that's probably fine in favor of Gods of War, especially considering 3 heroes were down there for such a long time trying to get that kill. Not farming up or getting any of that other efficiency. And Hollow Man's actually just going to go into the jungle now and just slowly chip away at creeps. You'll be able to do this basically forever, as the lifesteal lets you do. Things coming out bottom here. They're going to look to go on the Skywrath Mage. Nice tornado comes out onto the Skywrath Mage. He's dropping very low. Oh, he gets healed up at the last second by the Omni and repelled, and they're going to have to back. Wraith King's ulti does go, and I think that's the death of the Venomancer. He's dropping, gets out one more Plague Lord, finished up by the Wraith King. His ulti's on cooldown for a very long time, and Invoker's looking to go maybe. Nope. Actually going Wex Exhort. Has that point in EMP, so can burn some mana. Has a tornado. Travel distance is decent, but the lift time is so low. Makes it tough to use. Void, still not level 6 at 9 minutes. He's working on his boots though. Tide, so he can boots. Picks up his manas. Has that point up in Gush as well now. Can look to go. And we'll have to wait and see what's going on. Up top, Rookie. What are you doing? Nothing. Interesting choice though, not going any points in Chilling Touch. So, kind of interesting, I guess. Void gets the gloves of haste and a belt of strength brought out to him. Meanwhile, bottom, they're just so close together. I always think there's a little bit of action. Interesting choice there. They get let the Venomancer sit mid, which I think is alright. He really needs some levels. 1-1-3, pretty common build. Tide's gonna get a gush out onto Captain Crunch. No, not a lot. I kind of like that they're letting the supports sit in the lanes for a little bit here, and whatnot. I mean, they're not letting their cores get anything, but their supports have such powerful ultimates that you really want them. Like, you really want them. So it's a little unfortunate how often they're not allowed to get their get that bit of farm, but nonetheless. Mirrodin on the Venom is gonna probably look to push this mid lane in there. Oh, Ravage gets thrown out bottom. Actually, gonna get timed up with the EMP, and Cornflake's gonna be dead. He doesn't have his ulti to come back with, so he's gonna drop. And nice Ravage there. They get 2, and that makes it worth it. Tide, he's got halfway to his Blink Dagger Siege. He's got 1,300 gold in the bank. Not sure where he wants to go, but he's gonna be close to it. Top lane, have a rotation. Silence comes out into the void. He's got Chronosphere, but not gonna be able to throw it. No Mystic Flare for the Skywrath Mage, so they're just gonna have to back. Root Loops, level 7. Does have that point in Phantasm. Has that chance, that 50% chance to get a second one. It's from the bottom. I wonder who's going to pick that up. Get dog, you've got 3 points in Kraken Shell. You're a god. Go farm Ancients for 4 years without taking any damage. And Fruit Loops. Oh, leap forward. Chrono just catches the Skywrath Mage. Ultis are going to fly through. Nice Sunstrike. Unfortunately, the Guardian Angel a little bit late. Repel comes out onto Fruit Loops, and Void's going to get locked down. He actually doesn't have mana to leap away or end its off cooldown. Meanwhile, they're going to look to go in this Venomancer. EMP is going to come out as well as the Cold Feet. Venom ulti comes out as well. Oh, Fruit Loops manages to dodge the EMP with that. And he's going to be alright as long as he doesn't take another auto attack here. Out. Onto his illusion. He's going to drop one more. There it is. He does go down. Venomancer manages to hobble away. Omniite gets out as well. So all in all, a 1-for-1 exchange. Sorry, a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Gods of War. If you get the Chaos Knight, lose the Void. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up, but I think they'll be all right with that. Void's back. He's going to be farming before the Chaos Knight is, so it's all right. Cornflake, meanwhile, is pushing up the bottom lane. His ulti's coming off cooldown here. Somehow has a shared Tango in his inventory. Or sorry, his stash. Siege, what you getting, buddy? You get 2,000 gold in the bank. He's not quite sure what he wants to go. But either way, Void getting close to that Mask of Madness. 700 gold away. Unfortunately, he did die there. Void goes, or Tide goes into the jungle, getting close to that Blink Dagger. He's 700 gold away from it. Weaver, not really that close to anything unless he's got something. He's got nothing on the Crow, so nobody really farming that well this game compared to last game, where they had people decent ways ahead. Ice Blast is going to come through, and that's going to crush onto Fruit Loops. Just going to harass him back. Not going to do any serious damage. He's got the Helm regen, so he'll be fine. He can also pop a Tango if he wants to. And I think both teams really just want to farm up and get these early items up before they start going at each other. I think it'll probably be a couple minutes before we see any real action, unless somebody tries to push a tower aggressively. I mean, Wraith King is going to be pushing this out. He's got 3 points in Vampiric Aura, so these creeps, they stay alive for a really long time. They don't really take that much damage. And they're going to just look to push. Or he's just going to look to slow siege this tower. We'll slowly chip it down. He's got an illusion sitting out back here, just scouting. It's going to disappear pretty quick. Mid lane, Ravage. Tide is here with Ravage. And they might look to go. Venomancer's here as well as also the AA. Void, however, is top lane. Invoker in mid, I believe. Yeah, he is mid. He's got Tornado. Very high points into EMP. So you can Tornado, Tide can walk up, get a decent Ravage, and then the EMP can come out as well. And I think that's going to be pretty solid. You get some bugs on everybody. You're going to want to clear them off. And they'll probably just slow siege this tower with the Venomancer Plague Wards and just the catapult there. It does go down, but they're going to look to slow siege this. Wraith King does TP in, actually. You're going to look to clean up a couple of these wards. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot about it. Tide's looking for that Ravage here. Chaos Knight pops his illusions. Runs forward, forgets them behind. Interesting choice there. Sure, what he's doing. Void does wander up top and is farming alone at the moment. He just picked something up, finishes mom. So, Kev Dog gonna go, looking not to go. Doesn't sure. Nice Tornado comes out. Very short lift duration though. Ice Blast is gonna fall through. That's gonna be a really solid Ice Blast. Lands on quite a few. Nice Ravage coming out, and the EMP as well. Drains everybody mana. Everybody's dropping fairly low. Cornflake does have his Reincarnate. He is gonna use it again. Unfortunately, that's right before as he's level 10, so he's gonna be dead for a while. I don't think they have the follow-up. They all pop Mana Boots. They get a nice Gale off on him. Cold Feet goes as well. He's probably gonna get frozen. Nope. Nice Repel coming out. Still slowed from the Gale though. You can't purge that. And they both teams kind of blow their wad, and not a whole lot happens. Void, meanwhile, top, just hitting towers. Can't finish that one off, so he's going to wait for the next creep wave. Zoned out by another EMP blast, and they're going to lose their mid tower. Picked up by the AA, another Ice Blast coming out. Fruit Loops is going to drop very low to this. If he gets hit by an Anchor Smash, yep, there he goes. Kevdog gets a kill. He's not on a killing spree. He's 3 and 2, so doing pretty well for himself. Pops a salve and walks away. They'll be very happy with that. Meanwhile, Void stack the camp. Doesn't stack the camp. Doesn't want to stack the camp. Fuck stacking the camp. Invoker, what's he got coming out to him? Most of a Yule's. Yep. Actually, he's got the entire Yule Scepter, so pretty standard build. Going for that EMP, or sorry, not the EMP, Deafening Blast, Meteor kind of thing, Sunstrike, all that jazz. Going for the solo pick Invoker. Now you know Wraith King's ulti's on cooldown. You killed him. Killed him. Light it up. Invoker's Raging Fury. Go. Okay, he's not gonna go. Doesn't look like he wants to. Top lane. Chronosphere comes out onto Fruit Loops though. He gets purified and that does a fair bit of damage. That's how the Ice Blast comes through. Chaos Knight gets bashed. So he's not dropping as low as he'd want to, and Hollow Man gets silenced. Can't actually get anything off. Kevdog does finish off the Chaos Knight. Oh, he shattered. In case you're wondering... Oh. Full feet proc on Captain Crunch. He's dropping low, but I think these supports are going to be in trouble. I'll explain what I was going to say later. Stun comes out onto the Venomancer, and he does drop. So far, it's a 3-0. They're not going to be able to... They're not going to dive the AA yet. A's ulti. Oh. Nope. They're going to start diving him as well. Purification comes out. One more right click. There's a chop. And Gyroth Mage is going to actually probably drop from this. There he goes. Invoker kind of coming out. Siege, so Siege comes up, gets a cleanup kill, but they still lost 4 for 1. It's tough. A's ultimate. The effect of shattering, the frostbitten effect, if you will, passes through spell immunity. That affects everybody no matter what. You will not receive the damage from the being hit by the Ice Blast, or the tick damage if you are spell immune. But if from physical damage or pure damage that pierces spell immunity, or damage that pierces spell immunity, you do drop below the threshold, you will shatter. So, just like kind of an interesting thing. Chronosphere is on cooldown for 40-some seconds, but Ravage is up, so they're going to look to push this tower. They know Wraith King's ulti is still down. That's got another minute, over a minute on it still, so pretty rough for him. But either way, they're just going to look to get that tower in back. They'll probably start focusing on bottom next. Chaos Knight pops his ulti and is looking to push this out. That's actually going to have level 2 of it, but quite yet. And yep, Dire's bottom tower is getting the business. Fruit Loops, what are you going for? He's got that armlet. Unsurprising item pickup. Pretty common on the Chaos Knight. Gets that point in Chaos Strike. I hear a leap. There's a Chrono onto the Weaver. There was a Weaver there. He drops very quickly. Gush coming from the Tide, helping over from that. Not to mention the bashes from Faceless Void. I heard quite a few of them in there, so he got a little lucky. Always good when you can manage to do that to a Weaver. And Siege has an Invisor. Gonna maybe look to go on somebody. But I imagine you probably want a Yule Scepter, and then EMP, and then Chaos Meteor, something along those lines. I don't play a whole lot of Invoker. It's my current all-hero challenge. If anyone knows how to play him and wants to coach me, feel free. Invoker's looking, gonna spot out the Skywrath Mage. Probably doesn't want to go. Knows there's a few other here. So Skywrath's gonna kind of go off on his own. EMP. There's the Meteor, and that's a quick pickup for the Invoker. Holy crap! Siege makes it look easy. Good for him. They're looking to go on this Omni Knight. Gale was used, so he's very slow. Gonna speed up a little bit here as it starts to wear off. Pops Repel and should be able to just run away. Yeah, he's just gonna peace out. Chaos Knight's there though. Can make something happen maybe? Not quite. Ravage is up and he's got a Blink Dagger. They're pinging out the Wraith King. Gonna rotate through. Not sure. They should know that this is here. Gush comes out from the Tide. Stun. Wraithfire Blast. Sunstrike gonna be off the mark. Kevdog looking for pursue. Should have a Blink Dagger up. Does. Decides not to go. Probably a good call. Faces Void. I hear farming. Yep. He's just gonna pick up some Ancients. Another ward here. So Ceareal is doing a decent job of looking for keeping vision out. A Blast is gonna fly up and gonna clean up a fair bit of this creep wave. Help keep it off the tower. Is always good. Invoker's probably gonna want to get, or he's got that combo ready here very quick. Now has it up and running. Man, that does a lot of damage.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
Oi. Sheridan. Ooh. Chaos Knight finishes off the tower bottom. Sorry guys, can I sleep it on you? Kevdog looking to push out, looking for a Ravage here. Has a 5-man Ravage if he wants to go for it. Decides not to. Rest of the team is probably not there. Void's DD rune is unfortunately wearing off. They see the Chaos Knight. He gets a proc, actually. Oh, Void. That's going to hurt. Throws out a Chrono. Nice EMP. They're going to figure out which one is the real one, but I don't think it's going to matter, as he's going to drop very soon. Fruit Loops actually gets caught by the Ravage and drops before the Fear Patient can take effect. Might have been due to the Shatter. Ty gets credited with the kill. So far, it's a 2-for-1 exchange. They get the Wraith King's first life. He's going to be coming back, though. Are they going to look to kill him again? They pop the Yules onto him. He throws out a stun onto Hollow Man. Rookie is there, slows him down. Body block similar from the Tide, very nicely done. Void leaps forward, but unfortunately he is repelled, so he can't really look to go. Weaver's juking around the background, gonna look to finish off this Tide. He actually jukes through the trees. Comes this way, very nice job. Goes that way, he dies, blinks after him. And they're not gonna get any vision on him. Weepix is thinking he's still out there. I hear a Mask of Madness pop from the Void. They're just probably looking to get away. Tide throws out the casual Anchor Smash just to make sure, blinks away. And he's already building into that Refresher Orb, so interesting choice from him. AA Blast comes through, connects on nothing but creeps. Oh, does take clip Omni Knight. Sunstrike, but that's... Oh! Sunstrike, do you pierce spell immunity now? Yes, you do. Change I missed. Nicely done, and he gets a pick off. So, interesting choice. I didn't know that that was a new thing. You learn something new every day. Like I said, boys, not an Invoker player. Fruit Loops has an armlet, not really too close to anything else. He's been having a pretty rough game. He's got 5 deaths to his name. And the net worth, actually Wraith King is leading it, getting close to that BKB. But I mean, it's always unfortunate when you're forced to go into a BKB when you have an Omni Knight on your team, as you want to have that repel. But I think he'd been better off with a blink. With a blink dagger. And maybe be able to play a little more aggressive. Blink in, because Invoker's not very tanky. Blink stun onto him, or the AA, or the Veno. I mean, they've all got around 900 health, but if he has a little bit of follow-up, he can do that damage fairly quickly, especially if he gets a crit or two. You're going to be hitting fairly hard. Probably crits for about 300. 150. Yeah, about that. Void has Chrono now. Void this game though, Max gets time walk and time lock before backtrack. No, time walk and time lock before getting any more than 1 point in backtrack. Picking out the Weaver illusions, are clearing it up.
The Dire might want to mine their top
Any smokes?
tower.
Nope. But a Scepter is starting to get worked on by these two supports, which is always scary business. Void leaps forward, doesn't throw out the Chrono, doesn't actually have the mana for it. It's going to get silenced up. Nice pick off onto the Skywrath Mage. Omni Knight's ulti comes out. They're doing a lot of damage. They're going to actually finish off the Void. A couple quick crits there. Cornflake's dropping very low, but he's got that repel, so it's not going to affect him. He still gets touched by the Veno ulti, and he's going to go down. So far it's a 3 for... Oh, they get the kill. Cold Snap, it looks like. Yep, was used, and Tide gonna be careful, and there they go. They get the Wraith King. So a 3 for the Void. Doesn't get to use Chrono, unfortunately. Leapt in, didn't have mana. Forgot to toggle them treads. He was only short by about 4 mana. They lose their mid tower though to the Chaos Knight with his illusions. And I mean, I guess it's not terrible, but better than nothing. Oh, he's gonna get clipped by an Blast. Yeah, just on the edge. It's gotta be annoying.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Siege has that Alacrity up and running, and that's going to do a lot for his right clicks here. They're just going to look to push this. I don't really blame them. Void's going to push up the mid lane. Ooh, Mystic Flight comes out on the Kevdog. Gonna land. Doesn't really do a whole lot. Castle Shot comes through. Captain Crunch sitting up on the front lines. Gotta be careful. But with these Plague Wards in the creep wave that they had, this tower's going to go down. They're going to look for a deny. Oh, doesn't get it. Oh, gets on the second swipe. Nice play from him. Thought these wards were going to be able to pick it up.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
Oh, that's I still live. I heard my computer go dunk dunk, so I'm not sure what that was all about. Should be good anyway. And Weepix pushing bottom. Void has Chronosphere up. Can look to make another play on it. Invoker. He's got his spells up and going. He's actually got maxed Invoke now. Sorry, almost max Invoke. Looking to really start whipping out those spells. Become the true spellslinger. Did pick up a Blink Dagger, so he can now go. Looks like the Void and the AA are going to get picked off kind of out of position here. Where did the Void die? Yeah, he died probably around here. So Didn't even get off his time walk, and is probably quickly silenced by that AA. Such a good spell, Ancient Seal. And Invoker is actually going to self-heals. Gets stunned up, 3-second Chaos Bolt. Tide's there, but he's silenced. He can't do anything. He drops the Sunshine, gets finished up by the Purification. So that's a quick 3-for-0. Invoker buys back. It's a little bit interesting. Not sure why you'd look to do that. He could easily get gone on here. He's gonna Cornflake's gonna have his ulti up in 10 seconds. Unfortunately, he pops his BKB before he manages to get secure anything. Throws a Tide disjoints it with a nice blink. The ulti's gonna come through. That's gonna be a good one. It's gonna land on all 3 of them. 4 of them actually. Followed up by Deafening Blast Meteor. Nice Ravage come through. They quickly lose the Omni Knight. Chrono comes through. They get the Chaos Knight as well now. And Hollow Man's gonna look to go. Cornflake's got his ulti. He's gonna want to fight. If he gets a crit, nope, not able to get it. Raisin Brand's gonna be stuck on the outside though. He did get hit by that Gale. Wraith King gets the Wraithfire Blast off, but he's gonna get slowed up, and he's gonna actually get Yules. Invoker doesn't have another spell ready, but the Gush is gonna be there as well as just the slow from the AA. He's armlet toggling, gets lifted up, and there he goes. So they off that buyback, they defend their tower and they get 3 kills, so that's probably worth it. Venomancer is chasing this. Oh, actually gets the kill on the Skywrath Mage, and Weaver almost has a Desolator. He's doing all right now, maybe. That's unfortunately slow Desolator, and we haven't really seen a whole lot of this Weaver. He hasn't been doing a whole lot, making too many plays around the map, but it's a little bit unfortunate. He's just, it's just tough when the Void is ahead of a Weaver. And I say that, and Void's died 4 times, but his net worth is still a fair bit higher than the Weaver. Ty is actually leading the charts for Gods of War, and Wraith King is leading them overall, though. So he's going Basher now. He's got his Javelin, just needs the 1500 for, well, 1450 for the recipe / belt of giant strength. Are they gonna look to go on to Roshan here? Weaver picks up a Deso. Now does have it. Things coming over here, so they're thinking of a ward. That's an interesting spot for a ward right there. I feel like you'd almost want to put it. I guess that sees the rune here, as well as up this way. I don't know. This spot the Omni Knight though. He does walk right through it. Ice Blast gonna come out, lands on nothing. The only tier 1 tower remaining is the Radiant bottom tower. There'll be looking to defend that. I imagine that's going to make it tough when Gods of War want to go for Roche. They're a lineup that usually does like to do it. Void actually has his Mask of Madness. Invoker and Tide both blink in, assuming that there's vision there. So they have a ward coming. They're going to see the Skywrath Mage there, but they probably won't be too worried about it yet. Void's hitting very hard. Had that Alacrity up on him. It's very hitting hard and quick. Skywrath Mage just drops a ward. And Chaos Knight pings it out. Wants him to go check. Oh, Invoker blinks out, gets the lift off. Nice Chronosphere coming out and lands on the Omni Knight. They're going to look to go on him. Tide has Ravage, can throw it, does get it off. Guardian Angel is going to be lost. He actually has a Refresher Orb. Where did that come from? Doesn't have the mana to pop his Mana Boots, and thus cannot refresh or pop the second Ravage. But hey, he got the Orb off, so he's got another Ravage for when he needs it, but usually want to pop those back to back. Unfortunately, the second Mana Boots coming out from the Venomancer were a little slow. Or I guess the AA. Yeah, it would have been the Venomancer. We're just a little bit slow. Void actually Bash Lord Roshan. And Void's dropping very low. It isn't gonna fall. But they don't. Weaver's all the way top. They're not worried about it. They ping out a regen rune. Void's all like, I'm already back to base, boys. Not a big deal. He's very close to going down there. Wraith King, just the recipe away. 500 about. Another ward. Nice ward placement. What is this ward? Fun looking. What are you called? Level 50 vision stick. Yes, but what is your Evil Genius Pro gear? Interesting. I don't know what that ward is. Not too sure. Siege just gonna casually meteor down a creep wave. Just trying to push the lanes in. I think with this Aegis, they're probably gonna want to take some tier 2s. Much slower paced game than last time. Not such an early decisive lead for Gods of War or any team in general. AA does pick up his Ags though. Level 2 Ags on AA is huge. It's like actually massive. So that's going to be pretty rough. Venomancer getting very close to his only. Actually, he's got his in 30 gold. One of these last hits there. He has an Ags now. as soon as he buys the last component there. So that'll be good. Void, Staff of Wizardry. Makes me think Egg Scepter. What else do you... I mean, Necrobook? Is that a thing? You know what? Necrobook Void is actually not that bad because your Necro units can attack in Chronosphere. So if you Chrono the Skeleton King, you can just A-click them, tap to your blue minion, get that extra mana burn off, and the red minion's mana burn should be able to be enough. Should be enough to drop the Wraith King below the threshold, especially if he gets clipped by an EMP. And be enough to pick him out. Wraith King is now level 16. They look to go in the Weaver. They get... Oh, nice Sunstrike. Unfortunately, just off, but Weepix is going to drop down anyway. That was just weird. I thought he was over here, and then he moved over here. I don't know. It was a little odd. Either way, nice pickup coming up from there. Nice chrono. Unfortunately, Sunstrike just a whisker off. But not the ones he missed, it's the ones he hit. So, and he had that very nice one on Omniite mid. That's pretty solid. And with that pickoff, they're probably going to look to push. Void picks up... Yeah, he's going Ags as well, and I really like this. That way they have every time there's a Wraith King reincarnate, there's a Chronosphere. Just keep them in tow. And they're actually rotating through. Kev's got that refresh orb up. He almost just needs to buy, like, I don't know, something. Just like casual mana items. Like, get a 4-staff for the Staff of Wizardry kind of shit. 325, so that's 650 plus 375, so 950, 1025. Yeah, he doesn't have enough mana. I mean, if he ravages, mana boots, refreshers, mana boots, he should be able to get it off, but it's like you can't anchor smash, you can't gush. That's like your whole load all at once there. But I shouldn't say a whole lot. He's a Tide who had a very fast refresher orb. Actually clubs the tower pretty hard. He's gonna get chipped down pretty harshly by the Mystic Flare coming out from Raisinbrand, but in the end the tower gets denied by the Wraith King. Let's see if they want to go. Wraith King does have that Basher. Venomancer's pursuing. Chaos Knight pops his ulti and is gonna look to go. Venomancer's kind of pinched between a terrible place and a terrible place. Gets off his ulti. EMP is going to follow up his Deafening Blast. Meteor a little bit off the mark. Same with the Ice Blast. Void goes in. Gets a Chrono off on the Omni Knight. Going to probably pick him up. Ravage comes out. Unfortunately, only hits a BK bead Wraith King. And Omni Knight pops his ulti. He's going to keep him alive. They lose their Wraith King, though. So far, it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Void's still going hard. Gets a bash onto the Skywrath Mage. Gets silenced as well. Invoker still has an Aegis. They actually get the Wraith King's first life. Invoker pops out Sunstrike. And, oh, nice kill. Almost gets a double. Omni Knight dropping very low with that. Wraith King himself looks like he's going to die again. Gets stuck in place with the Frozen Feet. Invoker dropping very low, but again, it's just an Aegis. This Weaver's got to be careful. Do they have any vision? They don't have any detection on them. But Deafening Blast is going to come out. One more right click. He loses his Aegis. Void leaps forward. That's going to land. That's actually a dead Weaver. Not worth, buddy. Not worth. Another Sunstrike is going to be up. Is he going to throw it out? Does he have... It's high enough level. Oh, no. Yeah, pop something else. And they're going to be able to push off this. They should be able to get this bottom tier 2. And a very nice sequence of events coming out inside Gods of War. Off a bit of a... Like, their Venomancer somehow lived through all of that. No, I shouldn't be surprised that they were able to turn it, actually. Poison Nova with an Ags upgrade on top of the Ice Blast with an Ags is just redonkulous. Not to mention Invoker had an Aegis. So, it was just... It seemed like the Venom was a little out of position. Good teamwork, though, communicating and knowing that they can actually get there as a team and get the kill. He's going to throw an ulti up top. Look to help clear up that creep wave. So we're going to get the tower, and they're going to back off. It's only going to get one of the range creeps, though. What's Invoker got coming out to him? He's got an Ags of his own. Jeez. I think everybody but Tide won. You know what? If Tide had an Ags, he'd won it this game, because he needs that extra mana. Still hasn't picked anything else up. Smoke coming out from the Skywrath right before he died. Is that what they saw? Gets picked off. Leaps forward. Oh, thought there was someone there that he's going to go for a Chrono one. Doesn't look like it. Invoker has that egg, so the spells are going to be flying fast and furious from him. See if he wants to go full caster Invoker to get the refresher orb. Or what? I hear him comboing the Chaos Knight bottom. Is he going to be able to get the kill? Not sure, but I hear a Chrono coming up onto the Weaver, and this is going to be a dead Weaver. Void finishes him off. Skywrath Mage. Oh. Chaos Knight? Chaos Knight? Chaos Knight? Chaos Knight? Chaos Knight? Nope. Invoker's just farming away. And Void leaps away. Tide has both Ravages up now. And look to go. Unfortunately, Wraith King's got a BKB and Repel on, so he's going to be pretty hard to control. Invoker, what you doing? I need to know if EMP goes through. No, it does not pierce spell immunity. Okay. Just Sunstrike. And they're just going to back, actually, after getting that kill on the Weaver and the Skywrath Mage. So, I mean, worth it. Anytime you get a couple kills, it's worth it. But at the same time, Chaos Knight didn't lose any more tower control, or sorry, map control. We have towers. Ice Blast comes out, connects on the Skywrath Mage. I'd like to see if Invoker goes for Sunstrike, maybe predict where he is. It already gets thrown out. Looks like it must have missed. Void sitting off to the side, 26 seconds on Chrono. Ravage is on off cooldown. Double Ravage up, actually. Couldn't go in right now. Would get a very nice one off on 3. Now, yeah, still 3. But they're not going to go. They don't have the same vision I do. They don't really know what's kind of like past here. They don't have any wards on the... They do have a ward on the high ground. Oh, Sunstrike dropping. Gets him very low. A-Blast probably going to come out. Never mind. They find the Wraith King. He's going to pop his ulti. See if Void wants to throw a Chrono. Guardian Angel actually just misses him, unfortunately. EMP is going to come out. That's going to zone out the Omni Knight. Cornflake dropping low. Ice Blast is going to follow through. Cornflake... He's got his ulti, so he's not too afraid. That said, okay, Void gets hit by a 4-second. Oh, is he going to make it away? He BKBs. Chronos, and he's going to make it out. Unfortunately, he traps the rest of his team, but this Chaos Knight's dropping very low to that Venomancer ulti. So he's going to have a rough time. Tornado comes through. It's going to connect on the Omni Knight. Void somehow makes it through all that. Blink forward from the Venomancer of all heroes. And he pays for that. Interesting choice. But in the end, support for support. Void pops the BKB, barely makes it out of there. Chaos Knight, I'm sure, was trying to reality rift him and get out of there, but in the end, he's, oh no, he might, don't screw up your armlet, Toggle. Don't screw up your armlet. He couldn't do it, couldn't make her back. So he dies to his armlet, / Venomancer, and Cornflake, I think, is going to die again here. They blow the Ravage for him, and you know what, I think that's fine. He's got buyback. Tide quickly refreshes, so has that other Ravage if they need to use it. Doesn't really like to use them off counter, but I mean 50 seconds or 35 seconds, it's a 35-second longer cooldown, and honestly it's might as well get that refresh orb on cooldown, because even if he pops in the next 35 seconds, it's worth it. Easy. Tornado comes through. It's just going to be a scouting one. Doesn't find anything. Quickly clears up the creep wave. Quickly clears the creep wave. She sells by the shore. I'm not very good at that. They're picking out the Void. They know he's down there. He's got his eggs completed now. And Tide still wants more mana. By a lot. Wheatbix sitting there on the Weaver. Has a Desolator. Working towards that BKB. Fortunately, a large creep wave top. Chaos Knight. Sunstrike comes out. Not going to hit anything. Void's going to leap forward. Looking for that Chrono. Throws it out and solo Skywrath Mage. So screw it. Let's just get this pick off. Quickly gets the kill. Tornado. Sorry, Yules comes out onto the Chaos Knight, but they're just going to back off of that now. So they still have Ravage, both Ravages. It's hard for them to crack the high ground. The Omni Knight, he always keeps one of the cores they want to go on repelled, and Wraith King is going to be able to come back. He is still very farmed. I mean, the Invoker has passed him, and the Void is tied with him. Tide is not far behind, but it's just like it's so tough for them. Tide must be going for a Shiva's Guard on this. I think that's what you do. I think that's the thing to do. It'll give him the mana pool plus the extra bit of burst damage to really make that refresher effective. There we go, and EMP is going to come out. Chaos Knight actually gets, or sorry, Wraith King actually gets hit by the, all the BKBs have been popped. Lots of people running around all gold and stuff. Tide does drop before he can, refresher still in cooldown before he can really do anything. And that's going to be a dead Venomancer. Gets warped back in. Void throws out the Chrono. They're going to look to finish off Captain Crunch. They will be able to get the Omni Knight. Everybody else is dropping very low due to the Venomancer ulti, but can't backtrack everything, so he's going to go back. Oh! Fruit Loops drops, and Weaver's going to make it out. In the end, Sunstrike, nope, doesn't hit the Weaver. I heard it go, but Cornflake I think is going to be dropping here. Yeah, that's a double kill. How did Venomancer get that? What? Regardless, Siege and Weaver, the only two people remaining. Weaver's gonna look to go maybe onto the Invoker, but not. You don't want to do that, buddy. That's pretty rough. Let's see. What's his intuition thinking? No. Good idea, but just didn't wait long enough. Unfortunately, it was close. But Weaver quickly realizing you don't want to deal with these Force Spirits. They hit hard, especially when they reduce your armor. And Invoker's no slouch himself. He's doing pretty solid damage. So in the end, successful hold from CK against Gods of War. Not the best hold in the world. Oh, I like that Necrobook picked up for Invoker. But we'll have to look to see. Gold graphs, 15,000 in favor of Gods of War. Experience, more or less the same. So they're still fairly far ahead. Maybe look to get this Aegis on the Void. He's pretty soft right now and doesn't really burst people as quickly as he'd like. He doesn't have that Mjolnir proc, giving him the extra damage or something like a Chrysalis or Daedalus even. So we'll have to wait and see what he decides to go for. Omni Knights is working towards a pipe ever so slowly. Poor guy. Fruit Loops, hasn't really picked up anything else. He's got the drum, BKB, armlet, so he's got his basic stuff, but he hasn't been able to get that like a tier 2 item per se, like a heart, satanic, manta style, you know, something a little bit bigger, does a little more damage like that. That said, we've got a crow going out for the Wraith King. He's going to be able to pick up his Hyperstone, working towards that Assault Cuirass. And we have a Ultimate Orb picked up for the Tide. So maybe he's going to go Scythe. I think that's actually also a really good idea. It'll gives him some way he can blink, instantly Scythe, then Ravage somebody with a BKB, and then Refresher, Ravage, Scythe again, all that stuff. Plus it's going to give him the mana pool. Surprised he didn't go for the... Siege picks up a tier 3 Necro Book. Doesn't even stop off for 1 or 2, just picks up the whole thing in one shebang. Missed that. But they're going to quickly clean up the Shoshan. I imagine they give it to the Void still. Maybe Invoker. I guess Tide is also an option just cuz, but speaking of, they're gonna be just outside. They don't have vision of this. Tide's gonna walk into them all. He instantly throws out a Ravage. Nice Chrono comes out, but unfortunately Guardian Angel lands on them all. Tide, he drops. Doesn't have that Aegis that he could have had to keep himself alive. A Blast is going to come through. That's going to be a nice one. Combined with the Venommancer ulti, that's going to be pretty effective. Chaos Knight turns off his armlet and pays for it. Meanwhile, Void is going to be able to leap away. He gets stuck in a tree. Not sure if they saw him there. Wraith King does drop. Going to get his mana burned. Siege still sitting there. Void having a rough time here in the corner. Gonna get killed up. Looks like, yep, there he gets chopped down by that Skeleton King. Sorry, it's not a thing anymore. Wraith King. A dropping very low. He's gonna have another blast to come through here pretty quick. Invoker's still fairly healthy. I think he's running out of spells though. Weaver is gonna get slowed up. A's blast is coming out very soon. He went north, boys. They're not gonna see him. Random tornado. Jesus, that thing flies forever. And they're just going to look to push off this. So, I think if Tide has the Aegis there, can get off that second Ravage, they win that fight. Like 4-0, 5-0 kind of thing. But Void picked it up. They didn't know that they were sitting out there. They didn't have any vision outside of their Roche Pit. Like anywhere out here. That was a square, by the way. Off that, Omni Knight picks up a full pipe. That's got to be exciting after he spent so long trying to farm that. Wraith King's got 2 lives up again though, and gonna have an Assault Cuirass in moments. Force Spirit's gonna start to work on this tower. It's not dropping very quick at all. It actually stuns them up, bashes them, and they're just gonna have to be pretty careful here. Tornado's gonna come through. It's gonna connect on 3, but I don't think they're gonna let it go. That said, throws out a deafening blast. Siege is playing kind of a risky game here. Ice Wall. Throws it out. Oh, he's going to get stunned up. He self-fuels. Interesting choice. He's going to have to blink instantly. He gets it off. No follow-up. He's just kind of creating space here, though, for his team. What's Void got on him? 2,100 gold. Nothing yet. I really want to see a Chrysalis come up for the Void. I think he needs that extra damage. He's starting to have a harder time bursting people. He also needs to be able to get the Omni Knight and purge it. Actually, you know what? This would be a really good game for like Diffusal Refresher Orb, I guess. I was gonna say Diffusal Manta Void on that core Wraith King. burn his mana with the illusions, because the illusions, just like Necro Books on Void, will do the mana burn and attack during the Chronosphere, even if they're inside of it. In lane, we might see them initiate onto the Wraith King. Mana burn's going to come out. This is either going to, yeah, forces out a BKB, and now I think they just try and disengage without getting fully engaged on. And that's a BKB down. They could look to re-go on this. They still have Ravage. Blink's going to be up in a couple seconds. Sunstrike's going to come out. Kind of misses on everybody, but it's not really a big deal. We're going to have a nice Chrono. Oh, followed up with an Ice Blast timed perfectly. Unfortunately, Guardian Angel is going to come through. Fruit Loops does drop in the end. Is that a Venomancer ulti? Yes, it is. Ravage 1 comes through. Ravage 2, he can't get it off. He gets Yule's just in time. Still throws it out anyway. He's actually going to catch on the Maul. Gets a Gush. That's a Skywrath down. Wraith King's ulti has been popped finally. They're going to look to go on him. He's going to get a stun off onto Rookie, but Cornflake, you're going down, buddy. That's a godlike spree for Siege. He's doing very well. Weaver, meanwhile, has been top this whole time, and he's like, at this point, you just sit top. There's nothing you can do. Chaos Knight has a buyback, but up against this Necro army, look at how fast that one's attacking. Like, it's on steroids with the alacrity. But they're just going to lose. They've lost this mid set of racks. They probably lost top or bottom. This, like, with only the buyback on the Chaos Knight, and Weaver, like, he would have just died if he came back by himself. Actually, they're going to go for tier 4s. Okay, this is looking real risky. I don't think you GG yet. You kind of got to wait and see. Maybe you can make something happen. Weaver is very low, though. If he gets a random Ice Blast into the base, he's going to be toast. I'll cool down for 9 seconds. Skywrath's up, and they've got an exposed throne. Chaos Knight, oh, they're just going to call it. So I'm not going to go for the play. Just call the GG. And a little bit of an anticlimactic end off a fantastic team fight coming from Gods of War. But in the end, CK just not a lot they could do. They played a lot better, I think, in the second game than they did in the first. Had a bit of a rough game. First one, they kind of got wrecked by a silencer. But in the end, Gods of War played very well. They come out with the W. And this is actually the last week before playoffs. Playoffs start next week. And I was talking to Rasputin, or Jordan, as some of you may know him. He is the head guy for the AD2L. And he said that the schedule and whatnot should be out this weekend, more or less, for the playoffs. Either way, thank you very much for tuning in. I am Wolf Dota. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for supporting the AD2L by either watching on Twitch or, you know, if you have picked up the ticket, it's only $1 and some change in Canadian, probably 99 cents American. Support the AD2L. Support these guys and a tournament that's doing they're doing a lot of work. They're trying to make stuff happen, so good for them, but thanks for tuning in. And you can follow me on Twitch, YouTube. If you want, you can watch any VODs there. If you missed the first game and want to watch it, it'll be up in a couple hours. And also on Twitter. That way you can know if I'll be doing anything else. Thanks for tuning in, guys.